Hi, my name is Hasnen and I work here at GeekyAnts as a senior software engineer. I'm quite active in the Flutter community. I talk at events. I share my learning at events. I recently talked at Google Dev Fest, a couple of Google Dev Fest. I talk at many events of Flutter in Bangalore or maybe outside of Bangalore. It could be a local meetup. And I mostly speak in my own office and share my knowledge about Flutter. So today I'm gonna talk about how I contributed to the Flutter. So I got a chance to explore the GitHub repository of Flutter, and then I found one issue which I thought I can work on it, and finally it got merged into the masters. So on the very next release, the code which I have written is going to be a part of the Flutter stable repository. All right, so I'll show you the guidelines. I'll share in the screen. You'll see what exactly I have done. I'll share my experience. So maybe you can also do if you want to contribute to the Flutter. And being a Flutter developer, believe me, it's so cool if you are a Flutter contributor, right? All right. So very first thing is you need to go to the GitHub repository, and then you need to go to the issues tab of the Flutter repo, and then search for the relevant tags you want to. So if you are doing for the first time, you can go ahead and search for good first contribution, or if you're having a good knowledge of material design, then you can go ahead and search for material design tag, and you can filter, and then you can get the list of all the GitHub issues in the repository, right? So on the screen you can see there are open issues, right, which is kind of this shows that this is the new feature request or the proposal, right? In the same way, there are many tags, right? For example, material design, so this has to do something with material widgets, right? So similarly, I picked one which was related to material design, right? It was about MaterialBanner, where the margin was missing from the MaterialBanner, right? So you can see over here, I picked up a proposal given by another person, right? And that person was doing a feature request of having a margin on the MaterialBanner constructor, right? So I started understanding the complete thread, what they were talking about, and then the Hans has left a comment saying that this seems like a responsible feature to add, so long as the defaults don't change, right? And the person like who has already requested this feature has also asked that person that would you be interested in contributing a PR that adds this feature and test as well. So he has specified into brackets as test as well. So okay, I thought I can take this up, and I just left a comment that I would like to work on this issue, right? And then the thread increased. You can go to this GitHub repository and check what exactly the thread was about. And then once I was ready with my issue that okay, I can work on this, I started following up the guidelines what they have on the GitHub directly, right? So there are 5 guidelines over here. The first says about setting up an engine development environment. So if the issue is in the engine, you need to go ahead and set up the environment for engine. Now the second one is setting up your framework development environment. So if your issue belongs to a Flutter framework, you need to set up an environment of a Flutter development framework. So in my case, it was the second one, framework development environment. So I need to follow the guidelines what they have given. Also, you need to learn about what is tree hygiene. You need to read the guidelines, how exactly they manage the repositories, right? How they manage the branch. You also have to learn about the styling guide, how they style their components or the widgets, or how they add a few lines before declaration of one variables and stuff, right? And the Flutter design doc templates. So having an understanding of all of this, what I did was I started setting up the framework development, right? So very first thing which was needed is to fork a repository in my GitHub account, right? And then I can clone it. Now, once I have a Flutter repository copy in my local machine, once I clone, I need to set my development path to the clone repository, right? So now whenever I do any changes or any command using Flutter, it will be always be heading up to this clone repository. So once I have my repository clone, what you need to do is you need to work on your logic, which would fix or which would add the new proposal, right? So in my case, I added those few lines of code, and believe me, adding code is fine, but adding test case is more important, right? Because you need to make sure that the line of code which you have written should not break the other features, right? So having test case for that is more important. So I added my logic, added the test case, and then I submitted my PR explaining which issue is being fixed. So it fixes this, and then the code sample, and attach a screenshot that we have a margin over here. Once the PR is raised, you need to have this pre-checklist done to make your PR more easy and to get merged as soon as possible, right? So you need to follow all this pre-checklist. Once this is done, your code will be reviewed by the people who is responsible for that feature, or who are involved in that thread when you picked it up. So in my case, Hans has reviewed this, and 2 other people has reviewed. Once it was reviewed, they just left a comment which is LGTM, looks good to me, right? So three people left this comment, and it was approved. So Hans submitted a label called auto submit. So whenever next time the tree is fine, the auto submit will merge my code to the master. Well, after that it was merged, and I was from now I have a piece of code which runs with the which is in the Flutter Master GitHub repository, which is written by me, and that's a happy moment as a developer. That's obvious. If you want to know more about this, if you want to learn more about contributing to the Flutter, not just by writing a code, but just organizing an event or helping other people with Flutter, you can join Flutter Discord, Slack, or on the Stack Overflow. Also, we do a lot of activity over here at GeekyAnts with the Flutter community. You can follow us on the respective handles. I'll see you. Bye-bye.